Today we're going to take a look at how to create tone in a drawing. Tone is what gives a drawing its interest and also volume of the object that's being drawn. I'm going to be working with a number 2 pencil. There are, as you know, many different kinds of pencil graphite intensities out there. With the H system and the B system. 2H, I don't know if, yeah, it does, I'm sorry, 2HB is right in the middle of softness, hardness, and if used well, a wide range of tone can be achieved. And it's good to figure that out with a pencil that's right in the middle before you go on trying different sets of pencils, because the major technique is all the same. So one technique of getting tone down is what's called cross-hatching, and there are other ones, but this is one, and that's basically making strokes in a parallel fashion. And in order to fill in the cross-hatching, you go in a different direction, and I only learned this recently actually. You don't want to go at right angles because then you get a basket weave effect, and that's probably not the look that you want. So the best way is to, I'm going to back up my, whoops, put my camera over here a little bit, is to do the parallel tone, marks like this, and then to go at a slightly different angle. And the reason we start out this way is because if we just start like this and just press really hard, we can get some darkening tone, but it fills the fibers of the paper differently. And this fills the paper much better. So then I'm going to turn my pencil, again, just a very slightly different angle, and you can see how the graphite is filling the paper. Now that I have a lot of it filled, I can go to doing this sort of thing, but if you notice, I'm still going parallel with my strokes, and I'm pressing quite hard. Pressure, of course, makes a darker line, and it's important to learn what a difference that makes. Now that's pretty dark. If I go another direction, still pressing hard, I can get even darker tone. And this will become important because a drawing that has no contrast, that is all the same tone, tends to be a little boring, underwhelming. So in order to get a range of tone, you have to know how to get a really dark, dark. So we're going to do a little exercise. The drawing that we'll be working on in class is an image of books. And as you see, there's a great variety of tone in this image. So the one thing is to learn to see that tone from very dark, I would say that is the darkest part of this image, to the background, which is completely white. And then there are many, many shades of gray. That will be easy for us to remember now. So seeing those distinctions is one thing. Learning to put them down is another. So the exercise that we're going to do is to make a small square, I would say about the width of a finger, and make it as square as possible. This doesn't need to be exact, so you don't need a ruler for this. And then just make 4 more of those so that you have 5 all together. And again, this is not does not require very straight edges here, just as straight as you can. You can use a ruler if you like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we don't want to make them too big because it would take all day to color them in. So we're going to call this one number 1, this one is number 5, this is the lightest, and this is the darkest. And then these will be grades a little darker than this, or a little lighter than this one. Number 3 will be a little lighter than number 4, and number 2 will be a little lighter than number 3, but darker than number 2. So I'm going to do the darkest, and I'm going to color it in just as I did. Actually, I forgot to do. The cross-hatching is not my natural way of coloring in, so I have to remind myself to do that. But as I said, you can do continuous strokes as well. So now I'm wanting to go darker, and I'm going to go a slightly different angle. Still filling in here. Now this looks pretty dark. Definitely darker than the rest of these, but I can go even darker, which I want to do, and I'm pressing now quite hard, going at a slight angle, and getting as much tone down there as I possibly can. As I said, if you had a very, very soft pencil, like a 6B, I think, you would get an even darker mark, but you would still have to know how to use it. So it's good to learn this technique with just a number 2 yellow pencil, or a number 2 pencil. So I'm going to do the next square just a little bit darker than number 5. But I'm not going to go as dark as I will eventually, because I may have to do the other ones as a comparison to know whether or not I have to go darker on this one. So coming up to number 3 will be lighter than number 4. You can see how impatient I am with the cross hatching. Some people are very good at it. I do more of a scrumbly process. So that's a little bit lighter than this, but not very much. I'm going to leave it for now and come up to this one. This one is going to have to be very light. I'm using a very light touch here, and I'm taking my time. And this sort of have to get into a little Zen mindset here. This is not going to be a finished masterpiece product. It's all about the process. It's all about being in the moment. Now those two look very similar, so I'm going to go darker on this one so that I can distinguish it from number 2. But now it looks quite similar to this one, so I'm going to do this number 4 a little bit darker. So that's a pretty good gradation there. In many schools, classical drawing skills, students are taught to do 10 different grades. That is very difficult. I've tried it. It's a good exercise. I should do it more for practice, but it is very difficult. Now this can become a little tool. If I can get it off my board here. When trying to assess tone on a drawing that we're working on, we hold it up to the image. We can sort of say, well, that part of the image is probably a number 5. Number 4, that part in there is probably a number 3. And the top of that book is probably a number 2, or something in between 2 and a 1. Anyway, you get the idea. So we will be working on this image, and there will be a step-by-step guide that we will have to look at.